growing up. I don't know if any of you can relate to the idea of wanting to be wealthy, being taught a process that did not produce the results that you wanted. Can anybody relate to those things? Oh, let's get the lighting better. See, that's the thing when you go to someplace else, it's like, oh, this is not set for dark skin. There I am. Hey, here we go. So in our conversation today, there's a couple of things I'm going to talk about when it comes to the wealth gap in America. And when I talk about the wealth gap, there's a great divide, and it's getting more apparent every day, where on the one hand, you got 27 million Americans living below the poverty line on less than $27,000 a year. And at the same time, you have close to 20 million, it's 19 million millionaires in America today. And if you look at the differences, if you look at the distance, what separates the haves and the have-nots is growing, and it's in three areas. It's our education, it's our understanding of the power of business ownership, and it is in our access to real estate. Now, when I talk about real estate, I'm talking about real assets in real time that are building real results. And there are too many of us that are out there still getting the formal traditional education only. And I'm not one to knock education. I got a great education. I was smart. I did good in school. I was that kid they called a nerd, geek, bookworm, and valedictorian. So I know I learned what they said to teach in school. I went off to Duke, took enough classes in math between my electrical engineering and computer science degrees where I could have gotten a triple major in math. And you know how many courses they taught in money? Zero. I mean, not one. NAM. Wow. NAM is an Atlanta contraction. There was no education about personal finance, but that's our mission. We're here to help people navigate across, to provide that specialized education, especially when it comes to wealth and the things that created. And today's session, if somebody invited you, thank them immensely, because we're going to let the cat out of the bag when it comes to real estate. I'm joined by some tremendous professionals. I'll introduce you to them as we go through this conversation. But understand, when it comes to wealth, just imagine this number and the wealth gap. What experts say is that the average personal net worth of someone who owns a home is $200,000. The average net worth of someone who rents only is $5,000. Same job, same income, same education. The difference is, number one, making money, but number two, investing in things that make money. We good?
Exactly.
So as we jump in, we're going to talk about buying a home. You'll see a couple of members of our faculty joining in today. I see Miss Stephanie Stewart on the screen, and that's what we're going to talk about: strategies to maximize your credit, understand and enhance your debt to income ratio, expand your cash flow, and then invest for wealth. Sound good? So jumping in, talk quickly about the real estate game and what happens. So Stephanie, I know you right now are in that position in your agency with Educate to Own out of Wisconsin, where you teach people the process of buying a home. But the trend is that the price of houses is going up. The American dream, get a house, 2.5 kids, white picket fence, is more expensive than ever. And while people's income was going down last year, the price of houses was going up last year, to the point where I think they said the median's 340,000, but whether you're in the north, south, east, or west, 14, 17, 15%, business is booming when it comes to real estate. You want to tell us more about what's happening right now in the market and why you have to be in the best shape ever when you get ready to put an offer on the table to buy a house?
Most definitely, I can. You're doing a fantastic job, and thank you for even putting light on a lot of those things that are going on. The fact that, I don't know if you guys saw the previous map that was on the board, that different states have a higher property value than some of the other ones. So one thing that has really happened is that more money has been put into our economy. Stimulus, taxes, regular wages, things like that. All of these costs have inflated the cost of houses. Because COVID came and everybody lost their jobs, the bank said, hey, let's go and throw everybody low interest. So what they did is you have high houses on top of interest that you can only get if your debt to income ratio is down, your credit is up, and you have some reserve money in the bank. So part of what I do is I really try and show people the difference of what their credit can, or how their credit can affect how much they're paying versus it's 1.2%, 2%, 5%, or 10%.
Yep. So we're going to, so as you talked, you said the magic words when it comes to the numbers, because people have a lot of emotional attachment to a house. Is what we dreamed of. Every TV show, every program we watch on television showed the American dream of home ownership. But it turns out that the entire real estate industry is a business. And when it comes to business, you got to know the numbers in order to win the game. And the three main numbers that we're able to help people with, and that's what this call is all about. Three numbers you got to know. You got to have them as good as they can be. Your down payment, that's how much money you have set aside specifically to buy the house, your credit score, and your debt to income ratio. Now, here's what most people don't know about these numbers. Every number that you know what it's built on can be improved, and it can improve faster if you get the right help. Make sense? So let's talk about credit first, because I think that's the place where I was most convicted in my life, Stephanie. I didn't understand credit. I got to admit, I got out from Duke, got out into the workplace, went to work, and I didn't know what reigned. So for those of you taking notes, credit score could be anything from 300 to 850. And I thought it was like a SAT score. You know, the smarter you are, the higher your score goes. Nope. Doesn't have anything to do with your intelligence. Doesn't, and the best thing about it, it's for most people, if your credit is not where you want it to be, everybody, matter of fact, don't raise your hand, but raise your eyebrows if you wish your credit score was better than it is today. Just raise your eyebrows, don't raise, yeah. 300 is as low as it can possibly be. 850 is the highest it can be. That represents perfect, even though you're not a perfect person. But what most people don't understand is, how do they calculate a credit score? What can I do about it? And if you're saying you can help me, what can you do about it? So first is just understanding. Credit is built up of 5 key factors. It's your payment history, how much credit you have available versus how much you could possibly borrow, the amount of debt that you've picked up over the last 12 to 18 months, the mix of credit. You got credit cards, furniture loans, student loans, home loans. Those are treated differently. And then the length of credit is how long has your behavior been what it is right now. Making sense so far?
Yes.
So I know there was one of my friends said, man, I got my act together. I started paying all my bills on time. I've been doing it for 8 months straight, and my score is still down. Mm-hmm. But your credit score is like your reputation, brother. It took you 40 years to get to right there. 8 months by yourself might not clean it up. But here's some of the testimonies, just some of the folks that we've been able to work with through this process. One of my other real estate partners introduced me to Shamika Rich. And over the course of 30 days, she added another 125 points to her score. Javon Rowland, one of the champions in our squad, is 279 points. I got to update the slide to keep up with him, and still growing. And here's the thing. Credit's not a mystery. It's just a simple fact of the history that you have in your behavior toward payments. And I know, looking at people on this screen, I know for me personally, I was excited when my score, based on what I was doing, but more importantly, what the experts did, launched over 800 for the first time and stayed there. So does anybody else want to share just quickly what the credit portion of our membership has done for them? We'll talk about what that means in just a minute.
Well, yes, I would like to share, Mr. Richard Harden. Like you said, I uploaded my information. I didn't think anything, but I had a good credit score. But after letting my children attend college and finish and graduation and, you know, the parent things that we do, I just saw that my credit score was okay, and then it dropped. So I was curious about it. So, you know, like we said, we try to do it better, but the experts, everyone, when I came into this company, I had a credit score of 542 when I came in. In 3 months, my credit score went up 50 points. Mm-hmm. And the next 3 months, it went up 125 points.
Wow.
Okay. And
125 points in 90 days.
Yes, sir. And now today, my credit score is in the 700s.
Got from the 5s to the 7s in less than, man, listen, that's remarkable. And I do want to make sure that people understand how those things work, but I do want to make sure to get 1 or 2 other voices before I jump in on some more things and talk about how this all goes together. Anybody else?
I love telling about mine. I was waiting for somebody else, but that's okay. So I'm trying to say about just adulting, period. Like, sometimes you can get to a point where your credit score just stays there. No matter what you do, it's just not going to go up or nothing down like that. When I got into MWR, it was really teaming with a bunch of experts that could help me get past that 640 and into that 700 club. It's putting you on a plan to really say, hey, you should do this. Or why don't you pay a little bit more on this? Or pay this in a couple of days. So it's putting you on a plan to really see where you're going and you can track where you want to go. Okay.
And then where did that end up for you?
I am now at 699 still. But after it posts, I will be at a 740.
one point from 700 and then in the 740, and it's progress. And here's the best thing, you know what you're doing. Yeah. So there's too many of us that get out there thinking, oh, by the way, that's me. I posed for the picture once it got over 800 because they're still working on things for me. They think they can get me to an 848 over the next 120 days. I just do it. Let's see. I'm trying. So just text a person that invited you and ask them for this document. Because I tell people it's two sides. There's experts that can help you and you've got to help you. But here's 6 practical things you can do to keep your credit in the best shape possible. Don't have time to get into it today because today is a brief conversation, but take a picture, take a snapshot, or ask a person to send you the follow-up for getting your credit in shape. Make sense?
Yes.
All right. Second, debt to income ratio. Write this down. Your credit score gets you pre-qualified, but it's your debt to income ratio that gets you through underwriting. Because here's what the mortgage companies are trying to figure out. Based on this person's credit history, the amount of money they make and the amount of money they owe, can they afford to pay this mortgage that they're about to sign up for? That makes sense? So what they do is they take all of the debts that are showing on your credit report, car payments, student loans, minimum credit card debt, and they add in what they project this mortgage to be. So take the example I've got over here on the left. $400 car payment, $500 student loan, $300 minimum on credit cards, $1,000 for the mortgage. That'd be a $2,200 debt service per month. They calculate it per month. Does that make sense?
Yes.
At the same time, the person has a decent job, $60,000 a year. The best thing about $60,000 a year is I know that divided by 12, that's $5,000 a month in gross monthly income. Now, to calculate the ratio, all they do is take the top number and divide it by the bottom number. So they take that monthly expense of $2,200. They divide it by the gross income of $5,000, giving that debt to income ratio of 44% if the mortgage closes. Now, quick question, Stephanie. What's about to happen to this person?
They're not going to get it.
You're not going to get it. Because here's the reality. They think, it's either of two scenarios. They're either not going to get it, or they're going to get the most expensive interest rate the market has to offer. And that's the way the banking industry works, people. The less likely you are to be able to pay, they consider you risky. Now, does that mean they help you? No, they charge more.
More, right.
They charge more for what you don't look like you can do. So what we are able to do to help people with their debt income ratio is we help on both ends. If we could get the monthly expenses down and increase the gross income, we bring that debt to income ratio in line. And here's what we do. We got a simple set of formulas. We'll talk about how these work briefly, where we help people pay off loans in record time. So pay off that car loan, pay off that student loan, pay off that credit card, and you end up with only the mortgage to pay. But at the same time, we help people make more money. Put that in your notes. Sometimes to get what you want, you need some more money. So even in this case, just imagine if you were making an extra $20 a day, just $600 a month on top of that $60,000 income. Well, now the bottom number's gone up. $5,500 divided by 1,000. That gives you an 18% debt to income ratio. Now you're not two things. You're well within range because you're below 20%, which is ideal. But you know what's even more powerful? You're much less stressed. How many of you know, like you know, that when you got your check, you owned more of it than you owed, you skipped the work better.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
It's just a simple facts of life. But the more that you owe, the more dependent you are on that income, the less relaxation you have. So we talked about the first two numbers, credit and debt to income ratio, which is affected by both debt and income. So Richard, you're saying that you can help. How can we help? Well, it's not me personally that helps. I've got a team of financial experts that help me. And because I tell people about them, they will help you. And what do? They give our members the financial edge. Put that in your notes. You need an edge. Everybody in the world has an advantage over most other people that are on the struggle side of the balance equation. And I want you to understand this. Wealthy people aren't smarter than you.
That's right.
They're not better than you. What they have is better education, and they have equipped themselves with a team of experts. What we're giving you for only $80 a month. People are asking, what's the gotcha? $80 a month for you and your spouse, or it's exactly $79.97. You get Credit Max, Equity Max, Money Max, and Wealth Max. The names mean little or nothing, but what the experts do means everything. Because with Credit Max, what Gwen and Stephanie were talking about earlier, along with myself, average person that goes to work with our team sees a 50 to 150 point credit score increase in the first 30 to 120 days.
Yes.
We've been doing it for years, 25 years of experience, Credit Reporting Act of America compliant. We got 100,000 plus satisfied clients, and it includes the key things that a person needs to have a balanced understanding of credit. So we take advantage of all the free credit bureau reports. Our team goes to work on that part of credit that you can't do anything about. That's your payment history.
Yes.
Turns out you can't change history, but the right person writing the right letter at the right time in the right tone changes things. And then we go beyond the repair process, which is what everybody's out there talking about. Credit repair. Man, credit repair is like putting a Band-Aid over a broken bone. But when you get into restoration, start adding on and rebuilding services, now we're taking things to the next level. And the main thing we do is give people the opportunity to score, monitor, and get alerts when things are happening or about to happen that negatively impact their credit, so that they know, like they know what they're doing, what our experts are doing, and what they need to be doing to get where they want to go. Step two, because here's what happens. Just understand the impact of poor credit. This bottom example is the only one I'm going to talk about today, even though it goes the same for anything you like that you're going to spend a lot of money on that you buy over time. The worse your credit score, the higher your payment. In this case, buying a home, $250,000 is the cost of the home. If you got a high credit score, you get the lowest interest rates. Bad credit costs you nothing. Slightly damaged, you're buying a house and a half. Damaged, if you qualify, you paying for 2.5 houses, but only getting 1 half house.
That's right.
So we got to understand that when it comes to credit, if something is this important and we have no education or expertise on it, it makes sense to have experts help, because it affects your down payment, how much money you got to bring to the table, the types of loans that are available to you, and the interest rate, the percentages, and relative range. Our goal is to get people to the 700s, but stay tuned. I got good news for people that think that's just too far, I can never get there. Now, second, we attack that debt to income ratio. How do we do it? Man, we get a customized plan for getting out of debt. Everybody, right? Say it with me. Debt free is the new free.
Debt free is the new free.
Man, you just don't understand what it's like to be able to answer the phone with your own voice and say, "This is me." Y'all tripping. It's just me that was saying, "No, my daddy not home."
My daddy said he here.
But what we do is put together a customized monthly plan that looks at your actual situation. So it's personalized and tailored to you. In this simple example, this person was going to be paying $209,000 either way. The monthly money that they had dedicated to paying those bills, $3,185. Our team of experts looked at the time they're going to be in debt and how much interest they're going to pay. In this case, $233,000. They put together an alternate plan put this in your notes, with the same money. It's the same money. But now they'll be debt free in 7 years and 11 months, only paying $73,000. So saving themselves 21 years and a month, and $160,000 in interest payments. How many of you know $160,000 would be something good to put down on your next purchase?
Yes, sir. That's amazing.
Stephanie, when you integrated this to your practice, I think that was one of the main advantages that you started to give to people was not just, this is how you qualify for a house. This is how you find and get in the house. But this is how you pay off the house and get in shape for the next purchase, right?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
So again, it's power because now we're building momentum. Because if you think about what we've talked about so far, we've helped people get their credit score up, which helps those payments and interest rates go down. It increases the cash flow. Help get them out of debt, lowering the payments that they have to make. And now the next thing that we focus on is getting them their money, right? Understand this. Average person, when they start looking to save money, they actually look the wrong direction. They look around at the people that are there living with them and fighting for them, not noticing that 1/3 of their income is going out the expense column in the form of taxes before their check ever gets home. How many of you understand there's a difference between a gross pay and a net pay?
Yes.
Yes.
Anybody ever had that sinking sick feeling where the gross and the net made you feel gross?
Yes.
So
Yes.
our team of experts goes to work on both hands. We talk about and we teach people fundamentally the importance of owning a home. And then once you own a home, putting a business in that home so that you get the advantage of the cash flow strategies. Matter of fact, for most people that are working, and even some people I see on here that don't work anymore, they get a raise. How many of you like a raise without extra work, overtime, or responsibilities? Now, I know, Gwen, at your house, you retired. What year did you retire, Gwen?
I retired in 1992.
She retired in a whole nother century, right?
Mhm.
And she was, for most people in her income class, they would consider her fixed income. But our team of experts went to work and fixed her income. They got her a raise from her old job that she stopped working at in the 90s. How much was your increase in pay, Gwen?
That was $271.
So ask yourself a question. How many of you would love to get an extra $271 boost from a job that you hadn't punched the clock in this century?
Yeah.
Come on now. And I know for me, I was glad to have their assistance. They helped me get a $636 per check raise. That's $1,272. That helped with our daddy selling. I started looking at the right people. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that's the first goal that we get. So now we've impacted debt to income ratio on the top side and the bottom side, because now we're getting out of debt faster and we're increasing income, and that builds the ratio. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I know I'm going fast because I think Stephanie's showing somebody a house. She actually sells houses in real life.
I do.
Wanted to say something. When I got that extra money, what was wonderful, Mr. Harden, before I didn't have the extra income, but with that, I was able to pay off 2 credit cards. Eliminate. I was debt free before the new year came in. I was debt free. That's why my credit score continued to go up. I love it.
That's a blessing. It's a blessing. And then here's what we do. We're not just creating cash flow to create cash flow. Our goal is actually to create wealth. When you understand the people and the founders behind the company, the final thing that we really focus on is getting this money back into our hands and into our homes so that we can MWR. We can make wealth real for our families and the generations that come after us, so that you get the mentoring about how to use real estate to build wealth, the advantages of owning versus renting, and the best ways to build equity in our home. And the most important thing, so I just want to recap from the buyer's angle, because there are 2 sides to this equation. There are some people on here that just wanted to get access to the experts to get the numbers in shape for their current money. They don't need to make any more money. If you decide to get yourself and your spouse the financial edge, it's $79.97. In that process, you get the benefits of restored credit, increased equity in your home, lower debt to income ratio, enhanced buying power, and the most important is just understand. The only way to lose is keep trying to do it for yourself when there's an opportunity to get help. But now for those people that tapped in saying, but Richard, I know you wouldn't be this excited if you weren't making some extra money. You're right. You are absolutely right. But here's the power of what we do. If you, let me stop for a second. I want to look at you in your eyeballs. I do want to make sure that I see you and you see me.
Right.
And answer this question. If you knew that you could help someone that was trying to get into a home, get their credit score in shape so that they could do it, would you share it with them?
Yes, I will.
And if you knew that you could help them get out of debt, increase their income so their debt to income ratio is as good as it could possibly be, would that be exciting to you?
Yes.
Well, this is what's happened because of what we do and the power of it. We've created this amazing qualified buyer pipeline to where I don't even have a slide to talk about the boom that we're about to make in the real estate industry. So you don't have to take notes because this is not a slide. But understand, if you want to buy, sell, or flip real estate, right? You want to be an investor, whatever category of part of that process, we've just established a partnership that our founder is coming to Atlanta to announce 10 days from now. 10 days from now, he's going to be main stage training, step for step, word for word, how to maximize the buyer selling experience. Imagine this, if you're looking to buy a house, and your credit score is 580 or 580. You heard me say 580. We got programs in place where we can qualify and streamline the process of getting you through the buyer pipeline and do an enhanced type of credit called forensic credit. Now, people I didn't even know what that was. I had to look it up, go Google it. But they go to that to make sure that the contingency of your credit is removed from that buying process so that you're assured to qualify. And then if you know real estate professionals like Stephanie Stewart, Natasha Johnson, the ones that you see in this team, you're going to sell houses anyway, right?
Yeah.
What if our partnership paid you an extra 1% for just going to the closing table?
Oh, wonderful.
Would you pull up your seat at the table?
Yes, indeed.
See, I don't think people understand, Stephanie. I mean, we already showed the number. The average transaction is $340,000.
Exactly.
1% is an extra $3,000 just for sitting down and being a part of the network. Now, you do have to have your license. You do have to be a licensed realtor. So if any of you know licensed realtors, tell them, holla at your boy. We can get you some extra money, but we can also expose you to extra buyers. And then that last phase, there are people like me that are just excited about the process of investing in real estate, but hate the frustration of finding the house, the contractor, chasing the contractor, suing the contractor, sending the contractor a cease and desist. So, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I love it, Mr. Richard.
You can tell that's a conversation that has actually had to happen at least once or twice. But understand, having a process where instead of do it yourself, which is the hardest thing in the real estate business, whether it's do it yourself for sale by owner, do it yourself trying to fix up a house or flip it while you hold down a job, what about done for you, but your profits stay the same? You got dollars that grow at 20%, in and out, 6 months, right? So again, we're going to talk about how all of those things work. Make sure the person that invited you knows that that's interesting to you. But if you know that those things could happen, if you could do all that for somebody, and you told them about it, wouldn't it be okay if they paid you?
Yes.
Now, I'm not going to go into depth about the features of how we get paid, but I say that we operate like most real estate professionals on a referral brokerage basis, meaning you refer somebody to me, we do business, we pay, and we pay big and we pay daily. Does that make sense? So if you're in a position where some additional passive income wouldn't be bad to have, we provide that. We get paid 10 different ways. No way I have time to talk about 10 different ways to get paid, and Stephanie Stewart be on time to show this house. But understand, we guarantee daily pay for a referral network as small as 3 people, which pays $5 a day, to as much as $1,000 per day guaranteed. It's a blessing, right now. Sometimes I just have to pinch myself, understanding that there's a young man that I helped get started with what we do last June. So he hasn't been doing this for a year. He makes $100 a day daily guarantee. That's $3,000 a month. Do you know that you would have to own, on average, 3 to 4 rental properties free and clear to clear that kind of cash flow? We do that. And we also help out with car bonuses. So at a certain level, the company does pay your car and mortgage bonus. If some extra income would be interesting to you. And you get all of this in addition to the membership for only an investment of $228. So I say, whether you decide that you want to just take advantage of the Edge membership to get yourself the financial edge, to get your foot in the door, to get your numbers in place, or you want to take it to the next level, become a business builder and get the builder benefits where you get to lower your taxes legally, generate daily pay, get a company-sponsored car and mortgage payment, and lower your debt, Man, it's a win-win. All you gotta decide, am I number one or number two? Do I want some of it? Do I want all of it? But in the end, the question doesn't, it gets to be one of those simple things. So make sure to text a person that invited you to the conversation. Text them right now, let them know, I want to be a part of the transfer of wealth. I want to close the gap. I want to buy, sell, flip real estate. I want to grow a business passive residual income. So let them know, I want a builder's benefit or a buyer's benefit, but whichever category, the only way to win, not to participate, to be a witness to what we said was about to happen. Watch this wealth change hands as real estate agents become change agents, and we take our lives, our businesses, and our bank accounts to the next level. You heard it here. Now, hey, listen, I'm excited. And we're going to have a good time building. For those of you that are ready to change the game with us, make sure to meet us in Atlanta, Georgia next week. We have 2 concurrent events. The company's having a game changer training event where the CEO, the top producing money earners all around the country are getting together. And we are going to be flexing pink and denim on Friday. You got to be registered for the event to get into the party, but it is going to be a celebration because we work hard and we play harder. That's my time on live. I'll close out the live, but I will stick around for anyone that has questions here live in Zoom.
Well, thank you, Mr. Richard Hardin. That was an amazing presentation. And I love the information that you gave because I have 2 family members that are looking to buy, leaving New York and thinking to go to South Carolina or even Greensboro. Greensville Borough, I believe. Greensboro, North Carolina. So I will definitely keep in touch with you on that. Okay, and you said refer some people. I will, Stephanie, you too. Yeah. I will definitely keep y'all in mind. I wrote everything down. You know, I take notes.
Take notes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our pleasure. So again, everybody make sure 7 p.m. So that's 25 minutes from now. For anybody that's interested in knowing more about how we help you make, save, and grow your money, Shaun T. Hill will be on live, breaking down the entire compensation plan from beginning to end. Don't miss it. Meet me there, beat me there, and it is Wednesday evening. So there will also be a live training from Brian Dean as he starts getting in shape for Game Changer. So we have 9:30 p.m. on Zoom. That's Income is Your Outcome. And 10 p.m. he said he's going to do a Game Changer preview for people to stay up late.
Preview, okay.
All right.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hardin. You would like to say something, please.
Good to meet you, Cheryl. Did you have a good time hanging out with us?
Yes, I have. I have a whole lot of stuff to inquire about, but I will get that from Gwen.
Well, matter of fact, y'all call me after.
Okay. Okay,
right.
Thanks.
Awesome,
Okay.
awesome. All right. Good night, everybody. Any questions? Everybody got the schedule?
Yes.
We got 10 days. We got 10 days to tell everybody. Lottie, Dottie, and everybody need to know over these next 10 days. All right.
That's right. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you guys later.